with Half Dozen Customs. Back out here for a little Monte Monday action. It is later in the evening, so this will probably be a shorter video. As always, off camera, I have a million things going on around here. For you guys, it'll probably be a week later. Well, not probably, it will be a week later. But as most of you know, a good portion of the United States got hit with a pretty decent sized snowstorm. So the last couple days, we have been plowing and digging ourselves out. When all said and done, there was probably about a foot of snow out there. I think we got more than that the first day of the snowstorm. It was pretty warm. And when I was snow blowing and shoveling, the bottom few inches of it was slush. So, you know, it was melting as it was going. So, you know, I would say that, you know, we probably got somewhere between 12 and 15 inches out here. Which is normal. You know, we live in the Midwestern area. I grew up in Chicago, always dealt with snow, but never had to shovel so much. We have such a big property here, and there's a lot to keep clean. So in the middle of that, my snowblower broke down. So the last couple days, I've been spending a couple hours here and a couple hours there, working on the snowblower, trying to figure out what was going on with it. Turns out the belt came off. It is just worn out, so we're going to be putting a new belt on it here. I ordered it. I'm waiting for it to show up. We also ordered like auger and impeller upgrade kit so that it throws snow farther. So, you know, just been messing around with that stuff. And then I've also been, I have my furnace that is up behind me, that we have it runs on propane, and it's never ran right, ever since we bought it. We bought it brand new, installed it, did everything supposedly how we were supposed to do it, but it just never seemed to run right, and it seemed like we just burned through propane like super fast with it, and it was too expensive to use, so we don't ever use it. I had a heating and AC guy come out and look at it just to see if they could make some adjustments to it to make it run better, and they told me that I had it all hooked up wrong, and they told me what I needed to do. So we had to order everything and reset everything up, bigger lines, bigger regulators. So we got all that done and hooked up, and now I'm waiting for a manometer to show up so that I can just adjust it myself instead of having to have an HVAC guy come out and do it. So been a lot of stuff going on around here. A lot of that stuff that, is stuff that we did today, so that's why I'm out here kind of late this evening. Was the whole reason for my story there. But as you can see here, we have one of the headers sitting here. Now, we're not going to be getting this done today because it's 8 o'clock at night, but I figure we can get a start on it. I'll try and video as much of it as we can. We are going to be putting it in the sandblast unit. I did check to see if it fits. It's a tight fit, but it fits in there. We should be able to get a good portion of it cleaned up. You know, what we can't get, we'll have to wire wheel and sand whatever we can do to get it as cleaned up as possible. But we did get finally, we got our header wrap. I believe this is 50 feet, and I got 2 rolls, so we should have 50 feet for each one. I wanted titanium. That's what I originally had in the cart to order. And Colleen was looking at it and she's like, I don't want titanium, I want black. And you know, I told her, like, there's so much black going into this car, like, it would be nice to have a little something here and there to kind of offset that black a little bit, and that's why I wanted the titanium. And we ended up finding this stuff, which it's a black and titanium interlaced kit. So it kind of looks like carbon fiber. So we got two rolls of that. And I've done this before on headers, and I've always just used like pliers and nippers to do it. But I picked up, we did an unboxing kit on this stuff, so if you want to go check that out, you can. But I ordered a kit, comes with a whole bunch of extra ties. I made sure that we got black ties so that they're less noticeable. And then it's a special plier kit that grabs it and pulls it tight. And then it has a cutter on it so that it cuts it super close and you don't have this sharp piece of metal sticking out. So hopefully, I have done them in the past where after heating up and cooling and driving around and whatnot, that they came loose. And once you clip them, like I learned not to clip them right away when doing it with the pliers and just clippers, because it seemed like everything loosened up after some use on the vehicle and the header wrap would start to come undone. So I had kind of learned to not clip them right away and to, you know, let it do its thing and then go back and try and tighten them up again before you clip them, if you can catch it in time before it starts to unravel. But now with having that tool, I don't think that we'll need to worry about that. And we'll probably do, instead of just doing one band, like I've always just done one band to try and keep it as clean looking as possible, but I think we'll do two bands around everything just to make sure that, you know, if one loosens up, the other one is still there to hold it. And hopefully with that tool, that problem of it coming loose on me later on down the road won't happen. And another thing that you know, I do now with them that in the past, when I very first started doing header wrapping, it caused a lot of issues. I never did it. But you need to soak them in water and do it wet. For one, it's less fiberglass particles everywhere. Gave me a nice pair of gloves with this to do with it. So that's nice. But being wet, it keeps down on the fibers and it allows you to pull it super tight. Not gonna be getting to that yet. I'm sure it's gonna be a couple videos before we get to that. But today we're gonna throw this in the sandblasting cabinet and we're gonna hopefully start sandblasting these. I say hopefully because as you can see my breath out here. I've had the torpedo heater running. I got my canister heater running behind me. And we got a couple of little electric heaters going. And I think it's about 50 degrees in here, so it's not bad, it's comfortable. But I do worry about the sandblast unit freezing up. I've talked about it in other videos that I have a lot of moisture that comes through my compressor. When I spray, I have a special setup that I spray through that no moisture comes through, but it has a very low PSI pressure coming through it, so I can't use it on stuff like a sandblaster or grinder or a DA. We have to use straight out of the compressor for that. Not straight out of the compressor, but it's a different setup, so more PSI on that one. But that one has all the moisture that comes through. So hopefully one of these days we'll get that taken care of. But anyways, let's get this thrown in the sandblasting cabinet. I did mention, I think in last week's video, that I had cleaned up like the glass on the top, and I cleaned out the vacuum so that it sucks better. So hopefully you guys will be able to at least see a little bit. I'm gonna try not to make an hour-long video of just me sandblasting this, but maybe we'll show a little bit of sandblasting, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of show how far we got. I don't expect to get this guy finished tonight, but let's stop talking and let's get to it, and see what we can get done. So I'll see you guys at the blast unit. So these are the headers that we're putting on here. I've said before that like we have two different sets of headers. We have some long ones and then we have some short ones, and these are the shorter ones. They're still considered long can't talk tonight. Long tube headers, but they're much shorter. Like the other set that we have kind of come off and they kind of come down on an angle, and then they go out way farther. But these are what came off of that motor, and I'm hoping that these are going to work back in this Monte Carlo. If not, then we have another set. I'll just order some more wrap, and we'll clean up that set too. Not that these won't ever get used if they don't get used here, but you can see that they're rusty, but you can see that there's still a lot of paint left in some of these areas. So I'm hoping that they're not going to be absolutely horrible to clean up, because it does look like there's, you know, it's probably half and half rust, half paint. So, but again, see you at the blast cabinet. Okay, one good thing about doing all this sandblasting is it creates a lot of heat in my shop with the compressor running, the vacuums running and whatnot, and it should warm up in here. Let's see what we can get done. I don't know how much you guys will be able to see, but we are going to do the best we can to make somewhat of a video for you guys. Okay, that absolutely sucked. Not necessarily because it was a tight fit, which it was, but those hoses that come with that unit have been a problem from day one. It just doesn't allow you to move the sandblasting gun around in there, and when you're trying to pull over to get to one end of it, like it's pulling the tube up out of the sand and then it's not sandblasting. And with it being cold out, they are like rock hard in there, and I just have no movement with the thing, with, you know, trying to move the thing around in there. And it actually started to, because they're so hard, instead of bending, they were kinking and just completely closing off my sand. It was very frustrating, to say the least. So I ended up, I don't know what you guys were able to see in there. I was having a hard time seeing, with it being, you know, cooler in here. It's not bad in here at all, but you know, the unit itself is cold. I don't keep this place heated 24 hours a day. I wish I could, but just not able to. So the unit is cold. Those hoses are frozen. I'd like to figure out how to do something better. I understand why the hoses are hard to begin with, so that they don't kink on you. but it makes it very difficult to move around in there when they are so hard. So future project ahead, we need to figure out a better way to supply air and sand to that. Both hoses are the same in there. One is smaller for the air, one is larger for the sand, but they are both just very stiff hoses that just suck. So I think we are going to attempt to try and get as much of it as we can with this. So we'll see how this works. Okay, so that seems to be working. What I'm using is, I was using some wore out ones, but I grabbed a new one. I only got a few of these left. I call them cookies. It's an abrasive wheel. I get these off of Amazon. I get like a pack of 30 of them for like 10 or 15 bucks. Well worth having around the shop. They strip paint off amazingly, and they really do a very good job on rust. Now the heavy pitted stuff, it cleans it up pretty good, but it doesn't get it all because it's pitted. And we do have some pitting stuff on here, but you can see, like, you know, we're getting these pretty cleaned up. That heat paint or whatever is on these, I don't know if somebody painted them or if that's from the factory, but it doesn't really want to come off. But like you can see, like over here we still got some pitting, and you know, inside here, of course, you know, we don't have anything that we can really get in there. I may try the wire wheel to get in there. But what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna shut you guys down for a little bit, because this is gonna take me a little bit to get this all cleaned up using this. So once we get it all cleaned up with that, then I think I'm gonna switch over to 36 grit on, you know, on this guy, a 36 grinding disc. And we will try and clean up. It's getting wrapped. It's pitted anyways. I don't really care if we leave 36 grit scratches in it, because it's either we're gonna sandblast it and it's gonna be pitted, or you know, maybe we can get some of it off with grinding, and you might have some grinding scratches in it. But either way, so I will be back when we switch over to a grinding disc, and we'll see what we can get with that. And then maybe once we get this all cleaned up as far as we can, you know, maybe some of these heavy pitted areas that we can't get with the grinder, like especially like down inside these grooves, maybe what I'll do is I'll throw my mask on. We'll go over to the other side of the shop, and you know, maybe I'll sit in my mini truck project and we'll throw a piece of plastic over me, and maybe we'll do some sandblasting in there. The truck is gutted. There's no nothing in it, so if I gotta vacuum out some sand, you know, it's no big deal. Or even if we just go sit in the corner of the shop and just throw a piece of plastic over me, you know, maybe we can do that. Right now it is way too cold to be sandblasting outside. I don't think the sandblaster would work. It would just freeze up. So we will do what we can, do the best we can. I also have that rust remover spray, that acid stuff that I put on. You know, we'll probably hose these things down really well with that and try and neutralize whatever's left. And then we'll get them painted and wrapped, and they'll look brand new by the time we're done. So, but I just want to try and clean it up as best as I can before you know, we get paint on it and get the wrap on it. You know, I would hate for a year down the road for, you know, rust to start bleeding through that wrap. I don't know if it will, but, you know, I would just hate for that to happen. Or to have the flange, you know, the flange isn't going to get wrapped. The wrap goes just right up to it. So I don't want this to start rusting. And you know, the wrap goes right up to this, so I don't want this to start rusting. You know, we'll do what we can. You know, I guess worst case scenario, later on down the road, we just order a new set of headers. But that's not it now. Okay, I see a couple of spots that we could probably go back and hit again with this. But I got set up with the 36. And see how much of this pitting we can get cleaned up with this. So, I'll show you guys real quick. So that's what we're looking at. A lot of pitting in that area. Let's see what it looks like after we're done. Or after we hit it with this. So definitely a big help on it. Is it getting it all? No, but it's getting it better. You know, I think we got it cleaned pretty darn good. I mean, is it perfect? Would it be better if we could sandblast it? Yes, absolutely. Is it perfect? No. but compared to what we started with to what we got now, you know, I'm happy with that. I think what we're gonna do just to finish him off. I'm gonna wipe you guys off so you can see my pretty face better. So I think I'm done with this for tonight. It's getting late. We've been working on this for a couple hours. So I think what we're gonna do next, I think I will take it over to the other side before I go in, and we will spray that rust neutralizer, killer, acid stuff all over it. We'll soak it up real good with that, and then we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll wire wheel everything real good. Maybe we'll run over everything with some 80 grit on the DA, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get them painted up. So, well, this one. So probably not going to do both at the same time. We'll probably just do one at a time. Yeah, so I think that's the next step. I'm going to spray that rust stuff on there. If you guys are new here and you don't know what it is that I'm talking about, it is that stuff back there. And it is clean strip, concrete, and metal prep. It's rust remover and surface prep. And that stuff is awesome. You get like surface rust on your bare metal. That stuff in a red scuff pad takes it right off. Awesome stuff, love it. If you have bare metal in your shop, now they make different stuff for this kind of thing, but say like you're working on your vehicle and you strip your vehicle all the way down to bare metal, and you come out every day or every couple days or every week, and it's starting to get what we call hot spots or surface rust all over it. This stuff not only takes it off, but it stops it from happening. So if you have a car that you are working on and it's in bare metal, like I highly suggest, like spray down the whole car. I would do it like a piece at a time, but do the whole car. Red scuff pad, that cleaner, make sure you wear gloves. It is an acid. Make sure you wear safety glasses. Don't get it in your eye. Don't wear good clothes doing it. It does bleach your clothes. But go around, scrub down that vehicle, wipe it down, and you won't, it'll last a very long time before you start having surface rust pop up. That is a newer item that I've been using in the shop, and I wish I would have known about that stuff for my entire automotive career. That stuff is awesome. I seen somebody else use it on another YouTube channel, Garage Fab. I seen him use it, and I was amazed in the video what it did, so I figured I would try it, and I absolutely love that stuff. I'll never go back. I'm going to use it all the time now. So like I said, we're going to spray this down, and then we'll wire wheel it up, maybe run over it with the DA, and then we'll get it painted. Normally at the end of my day, I normally work on the mini truck in the back for an hour at the end of every night. And since it started getting cold out and winter is here and we have a foot of snow outside, that side of the shop stays cold. So I haven't really been working over there on that project for the last week, I would say. You know, last week it was 60 degrees here. Now this week it's 20. Welcome to the Midwest, right? So, so I'm thinking that instead of spending my hour over there on that, we're gonna switch over to these headers and just spend an hour every evening on these headers, until we can get them done. I don't know if I'll have them done by next Monday, but I think it'll get us a good, you know, a good start on everything. I am also, I am ready to. That guy is ready to paint. I am waiting for that manometer to show up so that I can adjust my heater up here, and then we are going to be painting that thing. I said in last week's video that, you know, there may be a couple weeks here where I'm not doing a Monte Carlo video. I'm still going to try my best to get something out for you guys. They may be a short little video, but I'm going to try and at least get something out for you guys. But once I get this thing painted, like, it's time to just wet sand and buff the cab and front fenders and the hood, and then it's time to reassemble this. The whole bed and everything, all that has been wet sanded and buffed already and is ready to go back together. So over the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to be reassemble Johnny 5 over here. And, you know, if I can spend a Monday or two extra on this and get this thing done and out of here by the first of the year, then that's what I'm going to do. But like I said, still keep your eye out. I'll at least put a little something out, even if it's a little video of me talking to you guys. But we're getting ready to wrap this Jeep up, and that is my number one priority at the moment. It's more important than Monte Carlo. Hope you guys understand that. Keep watching my Jeep videos if you guys watch those. I know those are way behind, but there was a lot of awesome work done on this Jeep, and it is going to look amazing when it's done. So even though that I'm telling you guys here in this video that it's almost done, make sure you guys keep watching those, because you might miss out on some really cool stuff that we did. Anyways, I will see you guys later. We will continue working on these throughout the week. Probably won't be in this video, but if we can get, you know, a couple videos made throughout the week, then you guys can see them in the next video. So it's cold out here. My building is creaking and cracking, and I keep hearing stuff. There's icicles falling off the roof, and I thought somebody just tried to open the door. See you guys later. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. See you guys in the next one. I'm out.